I was surprised the way Khamzat ran through Raw. That was crazy. That was like, wow.
Especially, I've been in this game my whole life. I've never seen anything like him. He's special, he's different.
If you weren't a believer in Khamzat Chimaev before, you sure as hell should be now, especially after UFC 308, where Borz didn't just beat Robert Whitaker, he absolutely demolished him. Chimaev picked up the former champion like a rag doll, slammed him into the ground, and then unleashed a storm of fury that left Whitaker's face mangled and his jaw shattered. If that's what Chimaev can do to Whitaker, imagine the chaos he could rain down on the rest of the division, including Dricus du Plessis. The Chechen is a nightmare incarnate, and this is the scary reality of fighting him. Khamzat Chimaev has been inflicting pain on his opponent since his debut in 2018. And outside the UFC, he's secured notable and thumping victories in Brave Combat Federation. One of them came against Sidney Wheeler at Brave CF18, where Wheeler came out swinging aggressively from the very start, but he quickly realized the consequences of his reckless approach. In the blink of an eye, Chimaev dodged a strike from Wheeler and took him for a ride on the mat. The next thing we know, Chimaev is on Wheeler's back, unloading a hailstorm of ground and pound. Wheeler ultimately taps to strikes because they're just too painful.
Those are huge strikes!
In April 2019, Chimaev would take on his toughest challenge outside of the UFC in the form of Combat Sambo World Champion Ikram Aliskerov at Brave CF23. The fight was one of the most anticipated matchups of the year between two rising prospects, and it lived up to the hype. Chimaev relentlessly pursued takedowns early on, as well as showcased his striking skills. Although he couldn't secure a takedown against Aliskerov, Chimaev dominated the stand-up exchanges with his power and speed, while Aliskerov landed some solid strikes of his own. After a series of scrambles, the fighters returned to the center of the cage, where Chimaev unleashed a brutal uppercut from hell, sending Aliskerov crashing to the canvas and out cold. Khamzat Chimaev exploded onto the UFC scene in 2020 like a wildfire, setting the octagon ablaze with back-to-back victories in just 7 days. Just a few months after his explosive debut, Chimaev faced his first real challenge in Gerald Meerschaert.
There's a bit of a run-in with Khamzat at the host hotel earlier this week. Can you just explain what happened?
Yeah, I couldn't really understand because we're all wearing masks. And he said something about I like talking. I just said, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to him, and he walked away. He said, apparently one of my buddies heard him say something about he was going to smash my face. But again, trying to talk trash to somebody while you're wearing masks and walking in a different direction.
Because I say that, I'm going to smash your face. How are you going to stop that?
I'm sure you think...
How are you going to stop that, yo?
When I look at his eyes, he was nervous, like in the cage. When I look at him, he don't want to be there.
Telling me leading up to this fight, you think I'm a wrestler. You think I'm a wrestler. Wait till you see my hands. Holy shit. He wasn't lying.
He's my guy. I like that guy. He's a killer.
In just 66 days, Chimaev shattered records with 3 dominant UFC wins, quickly turning into one of the most popular rising stars in the sport. The UFC was fully behind this evil twin of Khabib, so much so that they offered him a title eliminator against top 5 welterweight Leon Edwards, in what would be only his 4th promotional fight.
Choo-choo! Somebody give me, where's my steering wheel? Where's my steering wheel? Because I'm driving the train, baby.
Fate, however, had other plans. Despite the hype, the Edwards versus Chimaev fight never came to fruition. 3 times it was booked, and 3 times it fell apart. The first one was because Edwards pulled out due to illness. Then it was Chimaev who had to step back twice, citing his own health issues related to COVID.
I feel a pain in my chest, like here. Like told my coach I feel bad.
In fact, Chimaev's illness hit him so hard at one point that he even hinted he might be stepping away from the sport for good. Chimaev spent most of 2021 on the sidelines, battling a serious illness and even undergoing surgery to fix the damage it caused. By the time he made his return at UFC 267, the buzz around him had faded since many thought he wouldn't be the same after health issues. Chimaev had a point to prove to everyone, and especially his opponent, Li Jingyang.
Always people gonna talk somebody is better than me, and I know where I'm gonna go take his head. Yeah.
The Wolf wasted no time backing up his talk on fight night as he charged in from a takedown right from the start. Without wasting any time, Chimaev lifted Jingyang off the ground like a rag doll, casually chatted with Dana White at cage side, then slammed him down and choked him out before the first round was even halfway through. The hype train was back on track and faster than ever.
It's over, Paul. It's over. And he's a very smarter fighter actually, and he has very good game plan. So that is what we need to learn from him.
6'2", I thought, or yeah, maybe 6'3". Fucking strong, confident. I thought Li Jingyang was gonna be a fucking test. I'm like, I think it's gonna be a war. I was wrong.
At me the whole fight. I don't know why, but basically just saying, you know, I'm gonna fight everybody. I'll fight Brock Lesnar. I don't care who it is. You know, he's just yelling stuff like that.
Chimaev's dominant victory over Jingyang set him up for a title eliminator against top welterweight contender Gilbert Burns, who believed his Brazilian jiu-jitsu and power punches were the perfect remedy for the Chimaev threat. And while it was, the Chechen had more tricks up his sleeve. The pre-fight battle between the two was intense.
You're too little, but you have to go to other divisions. Maybe like, I don't know.
What? Can't understand. Where's the translator?
What's your comment on being the underdog?
It don't matter, you know. Matters what.
Of course, he's underdog. King is here.
What he said? Oh, he's mad. Oh,
fuck your ass.
Hit the table. The fuck. See you Saturday, buddy.
I can see you every minute. Come on backstage, smash your face.
What unfolded inside the cage was far more intriguing. The fight was a brutal war, with both Burns and Chimaev trading heavy shots, bruising and battering each other over 3 intense rounds. Both fighters rocked and dropped each other, but in the end, Chimaev came out on top with a unanimous decision. It was the first time in his career that the fight went to the judges, and Chimaev couldn't have been more thrilled to show that he could not only dominate, but also take a shot.
The guy was tough. I didn't accept that. You know, like, it would be like that. But from first second to last second, I had to try to finish him. You know. Next time, I'm gonna work a little bit smarter and yeah, gonna smash somebody.
When I fought him, Khamzat was the guy that everyone was afraid. Now a lot of guys see a lot. Oh, he guessed here. This happened. That happened. But when I fought these guys, they were monsters, and no one wanted to face both guys. I think those were the best guys that I fought in.
Chimaev's next big fight was supposed to be a headline showdown against Nate Diaz at UFC 279, but things took a dramatic turn when he missed the welterweight limit by a whopping 7.5 pounds.
178 and a half.
178 and a half, the official weight for Khamzat.
That blunder cost him the main event spot, and he was bumped down to the co-main event against Kevin Holland instead.
Other than that, he doesn't do it. So, yeah. I mean, when you guys aren't around, he wants to do fist bumps and he wants to be your best friend. When you guys aren't around, when you guys are around, then all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off. You ain't ripping shit off, dog. Let's be real. You want a paycheck just like the rest of these guys around here.
The fight made perfect sense, especially after the heated backstage confrontation between Holland and Chimaev earlier that week, which nearly escalated into a full-blown brawl and led to the cancellation of the press conference.
Trust me when I tell you this is the right decision not to do this press conference right now, and
Holland couldn't stand Chimaev's attitude outside the cage and was eager to make him pay inside the octagon. But that didn't go according to plan, as Holland barely had a chance to land a shot. The fight lasted just over 2 minutes, with Chimaev quickly taking control. Chimaev slammed Holland to the mat, ragdolled him with ease, and finished him off with a brutal Darce choke.
But one final question on it. Did you start things or did you finish things with Khamzat Chimaev backstage?
No, it seems like he always finishes things. He starts them, finishes them. He's just fucking me up, you know? I'm staying away from that guy.
Owing to his struggles with the 170-pound welterweight limit, Chimaev made the jump to middleweight, and the UFC lined up a huge matchup against Paulo Costa for UFC 294. But just days before the fight, Costa was forced to pull out due to a staph infection that had spiraled out of control. The UFC then brought in former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman as a short-notice replacement, making this fight Chimaev's toughest challenge yet. The stakes were higher than ever, and the pressure was on for Chimaev to prove he could conquer a legend in Usman.
This old version I knew, it's like different. Like iPhones come out, his iPhone's 5, I'm like Pro, so different.
Pros sometimes don't fit in certain pockets. You might need just a regular iPhone. They both take good pictures, and they both work just fine.
Before this fight, Usman had only been taken down once in his career, by Leon Edwards at UFC 278. But Chimaev was about to do something no one had done before. As soon as the fight began, Chimaev went straight for a takedown and got it easily, controlling Usman, a wrestling expert, for the rest of the first round. In round 2, Usman found his groove on the feet, having success in the striking exchanges, but Chimaev's wrestling was still on point, dominating the action. Usman had a better third round, but Chimaev wasn't done yet. He scored another crucial takedown, his 4th of the night, securing the win by majority decision.
He didn't have adequate time to prepare, but it's no excuse. He's as advertised. He's big, he's strong. That kid's as advertised. He's tough, and I give him all the props.
To put things into perspective, not only did Khamzat take Usman down and control him on the mat, he did so with a broken hand. If that isn't scary, I don't know what is.
Yeah, he said he broke his hand, but that's not confirmed yet. Obviously, he's going to go get x-rays and MRIs and whatever he needs, and we'll figure that out. And, Khamzat goes in there and he's fighting, the greatest welterweight of all time, a very tough, crafty veteran. And, Khamzat was built here during COVID. I mean, the kid's unbelievably talented.
Even after Chimaev's dominant win over a legend like Kamaru Usman, the critics wouldn't give him the credit he deserved. They argued that Usman wasn't fully prepared, claiming that if Usman had a proper training camp, he would have beaten Chimaev. That's a debate for another time, but Chimaev didn't waste any time shutting down his critics. He did it so convincingly that now people are genuinely afraid he could wipe out anyone who stands in his way. More than a year after beating Kamaru Usman, Chimaev returned to the octagon to face former middleweight champion Robert Whitaker.
A couple of times you've been in there with some really good wrestlers in the past. Do you think he's the best wrestler that you faced in that octagon, or how do you sort of compare him to some of the past guys?
Hard to say.
Yeah, Brunson as well.
Yeah, I definitely think he's the most dangerous because he's the one in front of me, untested. He's the unknown, right? But he's obviously very good. He took Usman down quite handily and controlled him on the ground. And Usman's got very high-level wrestling as well, so it makes sense that he's very good at what he does.
He's a scary dude. You know what I mean? I like it. He is next level crazy.
As Chimaev prepared for his middleweight title eliminator against Robert Whitaker at UFC 308, there was an air of uncertainty surrounding him since health issues had already canceled his previous booking with the former champion, and many wondered how that would affect his mindset. Chimaev seemed unusually quiet and composed in the lead-up, leaving fans and analysts alike questioning whether his confidence had taken a hit.
Khamzat I was before, he's not that Rob he was before. So the only answer is just a cage.
Chimaev explained that his newfound calm and composure came from fatherhood, which had given him a deeper sense of focus and perspective on his game. calm demeanor or not, Whitaker knew the challenge Chimaev presented.
To go into this fight hunting him, much like I planned to last fight, I look to do again this fight. I'm the hunter in this fight. I'm the predator, and I'm going to be looking for him.
This fight was expected to be an all-out war, with many thinking Whitaker would drag Chimaev into deep waters and test his limits. But it turned out to be the complete opposite. As soon as the bell rang, Chimaev came charging in, taking Whitaker down and controlling him for the first few minutes. He then took his back and unloaded a barrage of brutal strikes. Chimaev then locked his arm around Whitaker's jaw and squeezed it until the Aussie's face snapped like a twig, with 3 of his bottom teeth shoved into his mouth. It was the most dominant performance of Chimaev's career, and perhaps the clearest glimpse into the terrifying reality of facing him in the octagon.
Victory, so it doesn't matter Sean or Jake who's just going for the gold, so we'll see what's happening next. I'm ready.
Chimaev's performance against Whitaker was a major shock for everyone who understands the game, because the Aussie isn't an average fighter. He's the cream of the crop in the UFC middleweight division, yet Khamzat treated him like it was the Reaper's first day in the dojo.
I was surprised the way Khamzat ran through Rob. That was crazy. That was like, wow.
Whitaker down, gets a hold of him, crushes his face.
Chimaev is now in prime position to challenge for the UFC middleweight title, with a strong possibility of facing the winner of the upcoming showdown between Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland at UFC 312. Whoever emerges victorious from that bout will have to face the terrifying reality of fighting Khamzat Chimaev. The question is, will Chimaev's next opponent be able to survive this nightmare?
I'm a real big believer in Khamzat. I really am. I think the guy's incredible. But if we're just being critical, first round, I think Khamzat can beat anybody across any weight class. I don't give a shit who it is. Anybody in the world he can beat in the first round.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.